Hi guys, how you doing and how's your week been? Whew, mine has been terrible. Load shedding has been having us hard here and I haven't been able to post any videos. I have like a backlog of like 15 videos that need to be primed and edited, which is gonna take me like forever, but but I digress. We are getting back in action and this time I'm gonna take a look at DC for a change. The last video we posted was on the Venomverse storyline, which happens on an alternate universe. DC Deceased, the comic we're going to be reading today, also takes place in an alternate universe. So here we go. It starts off with a very hard introduction as we see the Justice League fighting against Darkseid. For those that don't know, or for those that haven't watched yet the masterpiece, with some plot holes, that is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Allow me to enlighten you. Darkseid is one of the new gods in the DC universe who was created by Jack Kirby when he defected to DC Comics. While he was there, he created the new god pantheon such as Highfather, who is the rival to Darkseid, Mr. Miracle, Mobius, who sits on the Mobius chair. His name is Metron. His chair is the one that's named the Mobius chair, and many others. Darkseid is wildly powerful in strength and is comparable to the likes of Superman, sometimes even higher. He has destroyed planets and also rules his own planet called Apocalypse, where he has millions of parademons, these demon-like creatures that do his bidding and call him master. Now that we got that out of the way, the Justice League had gone to town on him as we see Batman is telling him to leave Earth, and he could do anything with his bare hands. Darkseid gets up and gets ready to leave Earth through a boom tube, which is a portal device. As he leaves, he tells us he already has what he came for and will no longer have any need to come back to Earth. As Darkseid exits, Batman immediately gets a notification that tells him that Cyborg is no longer in the Earth solar system. The funny thing that happens here is that everyone starts to get angry at Batman on how he knows this and completely forget about Cyborg. But I can understand them, and this anger is derived from the Tower of Babel story. Let me detour for our story for a second. The Tower of Babel is an interesting story of betrayal, mostly from Batman. So what happened was, Batman had contingency plans to take down all of his fellow Justice League members. Each member had a specific plan to subdate or kill them if they ever went rogue. For example, for Superman, he had a kryptonite bullet. For the Flash, he had a bomb that was placed in his arm that if he didn't run at a fast or a certain speed, he would blow up. But those contingency plans went into the wrong hands when they were stolen by Mirror Master on the orders of Vanto Savage, who wanted to take down the Justice League and make way for his Legion of Doom. And just like in that story, he had trackers on everybody to know where they were and what they were doing. It was a complete invasion of privacy on Batman's part, but it does make sense. When you're on a team of superpowered beings and aliens who can bench press the solar system, he could see what would happen if they suddenly changed side and started fighting for the enemy. One bad day is all it takes to flip the balance of things, as we are shown in the Injustice series. We pick up with Cyborg and Desaad on the planet of Apocalypse, as Cyborg is literally being nailed down to a torture table or crucifixion style. Desaad, who is one of Darkseid's advisors, scientists, and right-hand man, tells us what Darkseid was after on Earth, the anti-life equation. What is the anti-life equation? Well, here's the thing. The anti-life equation works like mind control, right? But on a beyond Omega level. I mean, it's ridiculous. As Desaad explains for us here, the anti-life equation is the power to erase one's free will. In my own opinion, I don't know if it has a limit. For like example, look at the Infinity Gauntlet. It can wipe away half the life in the universe, restructure reality, and a bunch of other things. However, it is limited to its own universe, as the stones can only work in the universe that were created in. Like in the comic books, the Infinity Stones can only work in the universe they were created in. The stones in the universe 665 cannot work in the universe 001. Unlike what's happening in the What If series, as we saw Ultravision or Vision Ultron, who was using the Infinity Stones in other universes, as we saw him break universes through universes, right? That does not happen in the comics, but I think in the MCU, they're changing that. Desaad tells us that Almighty Darkseid had one half of the anti-life equation. He had been searching the universe for the other half, and it never dawned on him that it might be on Earth in a cyborg body that was made from his apocalyptic technology. And that other half was inside Cyborg. So right now, Darkseid wants to take the entire life equation from himself and use it to conquer the universe. Now, as they're going about this plan, the Sword tells us that all he needs to do is to add Darkseid's half of the equation into Cyborg's system using the mother box. But because Cyborg is just half human, the sheer power of the entire life equation would kill him and the equation would cease to exist. Like, this thing is the thing of the gods and he's only human. Alas, people, Darkseid has this brilliant idea. He wants to control Cyborg's death so that they don't kill him in the extraction of the equation. So he uses the mother box to summon death to him, grabs him or her by the face, injects a big ass needle into his arm, the likes that will give Goku a heart attack, and starts transmitting Death's blood into Cyborgs. One thing I have to say, people, if Thanos saw this, if Thanos was reading this, he would be very jealous. As we all know, Thanos loves, like he's infatuated by the thought of death. He has met Marvel's depiction of death, who's of course Lady Death. You see her with the thickness through the coat, but she's just a bone of skeletons. Yo, Marvel, let's have a conversation about this. How is it that Lady Death is just a pile of bones, but she got curves? That does not make any sense, Marvel. Please do explain that. All of this is done for the purpose of controlling Victor Stone's death. This to me doesn't make any sense. Because to extract the equation, they could just hack into Cyborg's system since he is made out of apocalyptic technology. So Darkseid is successful in extracting the equation, but there is a problem. The equation changes. And now this entire life equation jumped from Cyborg, who is, of course, is patient zero, and infects Almighty Darkseid. The entire life equation infects Darkseid as he starts to claw away at his own head, trying to get it out. Darkseid is unaffected by the entire life equation as he has a healing factor that makes him immune to catching any diseases. He quickly sends Cyborg back to Earth in hopes that it might help his master, but it's too late. The entire life Darkseid rips into the planet Apocalypse and blows up the planet. Darkseid is, Darkseid was. We pick up with Cyborg, who had been boom-tubed to Metropolis. He was dropped in the middle of the street as a crowd forms around him taking pictures. Cyborg touches the ground. His systems go back online and the entire life equation hops from his patient zero and into the World Wide Web. Anything that is connected, anything with a screen that is connected to the internet starts turning red and people start turning into these zombies who in turn bite other people to spread the infection. As we see here, people, the apocalypse has started. And what started it? Smartphones, the thing you're watching this video on. And please do remember to like and subscribe the video. It will help us very much. We pick up with Superman, who was recruiting Mr. Miracle and Big Barda. If you're not familiar with these two, I will give you a little summary of them. Mr. Miracle is the son of Highfather, Darkseid's rival, who had been kept by Darkseid on Apocalypse as part of their ceasefire between Darkseid and Highfather's armies. So he's like a peace agreement. He's the son of Highfather that was given to Darkseid, and Darkseid gave his son to Highfather. But instead of taking care of the child, Darkseid just locked him up in a cage, and that's where he got the name of Mr. Miracle. Why? Because his powers is being able to break out of any lock, vault, prison system, anything with a lock on Earth or on the planet, or even anything that is meant for the gods, he can break out of it. And then we have Big Barda, who is Mr. Miracle's wife. She is a former member of the Furies, an elite killing squad for Darkseid that was washed over by Granny Goodness. And we will talk about her in a different video because this woman is the sheer personification of evil. If you ever watched the Young Justice series, you will know what I mean. While they are discussing on how they are going to rescue Cyborg from Darkseid in Apocalypse, Superman hears screams from outside and beams out to see the zombie apocalypse starting. The first thing he does is that he beelines for his family, Lois and Jonathan. We switch over to Superman's apartment as we see Lois, who's chilling on the sofa while watching The Boys, as we see Damian Wayne, Batman's son, who came over for a sleepover to chat. As you know, they are the Super Sons. They even have their own line of comics that was popular back in the day, but I'm not sure many of the grown-ups read it. I think it was more connected to the kids, but it was actually good for what it was worth. I actually read it sometimes. They're playing video games, just having fun, unaware of the zombie apocalypse happening outside. Jonathan gets up to get his mom's phone, which has a red screen, but before he can pick it up to look at it, it turns to ash as Superman comes in, flying, destroying the phone and the TV with his eye rays. I got that mixed up. And just like you, I am surprised on how Superman knows how the infection is being spread. We didn't see him talk to anyone that would inform them on how the anti-life equation is being spread, or even Batman. Speaking of which, who Damien tries to call on the Bat radio but doesn't answer, which is odd since Batman always answers. We quickly jump over to Batman in the Wayne Manor, who's sitting in front of the Bat computer. Here is where we learn that the virus has spread worldwide and has affected nearly 600 million people around the world, which is a lot. In just one day, 1/3 of the population of the earth has been infected by this virus. So this actually means this is the end. This is the actual apocalypse. They might bounce back, they might do this, as we often see in these circumstances. As we always know, the heroes rise and the villains fall, but this is the end. No one is going to survive this. After learning how the infection spreads, Batman sets off an EMP in the Wayne Manor. An EMP, which is an electrical magnetic pulse which shuts down anything that works with the battery electricity in a mile's radius. Batman goes up the manor looking for Alfred and the boys. As Batman walks Wayne Manor looking for Alfred and the boys, he hears Alfred trying to save his own life. As he turns the corner, he sees Alfred trying to fend himself against an infected Nightwing and Red Robin. Batman tries to get hold of the situation as he tells Alfred to run. But as Alfred gets his chance to run, Nightwing comes from behind and takes a huge jump from Batman's neck. And this is where the comic ends. Thank you guys for watching this video. Do leave a like or a dislike, both still work the same. Comment down your favorite parts of the comic and subscribe to the channel to get updates of when we post new content on YouTube. It's been your boy Ray, and it's a wrap.